Good morning, everybody. This is Danny from Deep South Homestead. We're back out here on the garage she shed build. We've got all the metal on the outside now. All the roof's on, all the wall panels is on. Now comes the trim time. Y'all seen in the last video we talked about how important the trim was for a building. Not all trim comes standard. Some you have to have custom made. Not everybody knows that. Not everybody knows how to have custom trim made. Like around my doorways here, you come inside, you have this here showing. I had custom trim built to go on that, and this is it right here. Now that's a standard 5.5 inch wall, but because we're going to be putting 1/2 inch on the inside, I had this bent 6 inches with a 1/2 inch hem edge bent on the edge right here to help stiffen it up. Then I had it bent over 1.5 inches this way because that's the thickness of a 2x. And then I had a 1/2 inch hem edge bent on the inside of that as a stiffener so it won't get all wrinkly. This is just a custom made piece that I had made. I'll be using them in 2 or 3 different places in here. But after that we'll be installing corners and inside corners, outside corners, rake and gable, ridge. We've already installed the sidewall flashing and stuff like that. All these are pieces to the puzzle, and each one of them has to go in at a specific time. You can't get one ahead of the other. After I install this, the very next thing I'll be doing will be either the inside corners or outside corners. They have to go on before the rake and gables go on. And the rake and gables have to go on before the ridges go on. So it's just a puzzle. And just follow us along in this build, and hopefully we can show you where each piece goes and how to cut it and how to make it fit. Okay, we're going to cut it 84.5 is going to be our first notch. Will come from, this will be the bottom. It'll come 84.5. Now I've got my forks off of my tractor right now. I normally would leave them on there. The wind's blowing so bad. Got some weather coming in here. We're at 84.5. We'll take our square, make us a little mark right here. This is where that bend will take place. Now we're going to come back and we're going to mark. This is supposed to be 9.5 inches, but I always go back and check just to be sure. Yes, it's 9.5. I'm going to go from this last mark I made, which was right here. I'm going to come from it 9.5 inches. Now that is where this will actually, let me go there. Now, what I like to do, I don't like to just butt something up and just let that be it. I like to go about 3/4 to 1 inch past it and cut it off there. I'll take my duck bills and we're going to bend this at a little bit of an angle right here on this mark right here. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to cut this off right here. And be careful, anytime you're using shears, don't ever just run them out and go, don't ever cut them all the way to the end like that when you're cutting, because if you do, and you go to start your next cut, what happens is you end up with, some people call them meat hooks, some people call them fish hooks, but it leaves a little tiny piece of metal that curls up like that, that will rip you wide open if you happen to slide your hand across it. So don't ever run these all the way out to the end. If you notice when I'm cutting, I stop before I get to the end and I move my shears. I don't ever run them to the end until I get all the way to the end, and then I snip it off. We're going to get this back out of the way. Now, we're going to take, we have that second mark right there where we're going to bend them to with the duck bills. We're going to come right here. We're going to cut this down to that mark right there. Next, we're going to come over here and we're going to come to this mark that I made right here, and we're going to cut that. Now, I'm going to take my square at that mark and I'm going to make this mark go straight across right there. That lets me know that when it's bent, it needs to be bent exactly right there. This bend that we're going to make right across here is going to be a little tricky because it's going to be difficult to get like a real good crease in it, because it takes a special type of brake to actually bend this, and we don't have that. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to go get my duck bills, and we're going to try to see if we can't use the duck bills a little bit to help kind of get this bend made. We bend this. This is going to be bent on probably, if I had to guess, I'm going to say a 22.5 degree angle. And you can't, because my duck bills are not very wide, you can only bend a certain amount at a time. You have to kind of like take your time. And we don't want to bend it too much. We're going to stop at that right there. I think that'll be plenty sufficient. Now, I will say this, you can, this particular bend that's right here, I know the pencil line is almost non-existent. Gray on gray just doesn't, I'll see if I can't mark it a little darker. Okay, this is the line. I transferred the line over to this side, and we know that that's where it's at right here. You can lay it across something like this and put your hands on both sides of it, and you can bend it a little bit to kind of help get the bend started right and kind of get a little bit of a crease going there, and then gradually take it just a little bit. You don't want to go too much at a time on it. Now, we'll see if we can get this a little bit higher to get a little bit better bend on this. Bring that out a little bit more like that. I don't want to, this is what I'm talking about. This part of it is so tedious, you can ruin a piece of metal just right here. Hang over this other side here. Let it lay down.
You want me to hold the other end?
Yeah. Trying to keep it from bending. Oh, come back. Okay, I think we're pretty close. I'm afraid that bottom got. Putting the windshield on. Okay.
All right, that piece of trim is gray on this stone building. It's hard to tell with the sun right now, but later we'll get some better shots. The sun's out big time.
It worked out really nice.
Yes.
Really nice. Now I got to put a couple of screws in it. I think that's we left it hanging over a 1/2 inch in here because we're going to be installing 1/2 inch stuff on the walls down through here, and it should come out fit just perfect to the edge of it right here. And if you could get something bent like it's supposed to be bent, it'd be great, but you never can, so I'm going to have to put some screws at the bottom to hold it. All right, what we have here, all this here is going to paint gray here. This is going to paint gray. This will have a siding put in here on this. This will have a siding put in here on this. There'll be another 3/4 inch board put underneath here. But this is why this has to go in now, and let's just pray that it fits. It's supposed to anyway. Let's put it that way. If I can get this to, there we go, a little bit more. That's it, right there. Now, we got a board that's going to come up over this right here and set up on that lip, and that'll help hold that up. When I nail this board in, that's going to push that up. I really don't have to put anything in this. It just sits there. It'll be perfectly fine. And then when I put my lumber over this and coming down over that, it's going to cover up all this in here. It'll sit up in there just perfect. Now, I can go back and put a roofing tack in this right here, and I just might do that, put it right in the edge of that there to help hold it up until I get the lumber actually put in. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Just stick a little roofing tack right here to hold that edge up. Thank goodness for the old martial art days. Okay, that'll get screwed up there. Then we got a big wide board coming in here. It's going to sit over all this right here, cover up this bottom edge. And then we'll come along here, we'll caulk this here where water can't get in behind it. And we'll be good to go.
Anything goes at the top.
Nothing goes at the top. We already got this up. So this
That paints, right?
This all paints underneath here. This all paints the same color as this. All this paint. All right, the piece of flashing we have here is called an inside corner. It's made to do just what it says, to go on the inside corner. Now I may have a little trouble because my metal's kind of tight up in that corner up in there. We're gonna have to see if it's gonna go in. Let me check to see which end. I always like to put my cut end up. Yeah. Get this over. Let's get this down here. Hold on. There we go.
And it sits on the
Now
rack.
what you want to do is you want to watch your seams in your metal, how this seam comes down right here. You want to keep your reveal as close to the same as you can, because that's what determines nice looking jobs from jobs that don't look good. And we knew that we had a board coming across here on the whole roof line. I mean, a wall came across here, so we know we're going to be able to put a screw right here to hold it, but we want to make sure we're right where we need to be, and I believe we are. This is difficult because you're going through 3 pieces of metal. Okay, what you want to do is come right back around to the other side. You're going to make sure the distance at the top come down. Make sure your reveal is the same. I had to push in just a little bit. We'll keep it in line with these screws coming across here. There we go. Now we're going to just go ahead, put a couple of screws at the top. We got 2 more to go right here, 2 at the bottom, and we'll have the inside corner done. Guys, that kind of stuff is what makes a building stand out, the trim. Plus, it keeps water out of the corners. Right here, no water can come in here because it's up under the other flashing. It comes all the way down here. It runs off on the rack guard down here. There's no way water's getting on the inside of the building in here, so that is a good deal. right. Start from the top and come down. It's going to be like right there. Get one up here to start with. Same thing as with the inside corners, we want to make sure that before that wind is blowing so bad, if I let go of it, it just takes off. We want to follow our lines and our seams down to make sure we keep it square. You want to also look down the other side of the roof to make sure you're not bowed out crooked. And probably what I'm going to do is go all the way to the bottom. You want to make sure that it sits pretty square on your rat seal down here. This is the seam right here we're staying with. I want to make sure I get it just right, and I want to make sure that I'm going to sit on my rat seal pretty evenly, and it looks like I am. So this is going to be a challenge. We've got to go through like 4 pieces of metal right here. Wasn't too bad. See how we sit nice and flush right here? We're staying nice. It'll be like right there. I should have a plate right here. What I'm going to do, just to be sure, is I'm going to measure it all the way down to make sure I'm 2 inches. I'll make sure that I got to come in a little bit. Looks like I'm off still a little bit. I guess I'm just a little too picky, but all right.
I don't remember seeing the gun, but
Yeah, I did right here. I thought I did. Alright, now that we've got the corner installed down below it, the rake and gable goes over the top of that, and you always start and put your bottom on first. And wherever you put your screws at in the top of the roof that matches the lathing on the roof, always put a dab of silicone underneath it there, because your screw's going through the roof underneath it, and just in case water ever gets under it, that silicone has it sealed off. So we're headed up to the top now. That'll be the next piece that we install.
a nice evening, almost like a spring day, isn't it?
That it is. Nice breeze in the 60s.
Good working weather.
Partly sunny, not too hot. Just right if you like this kind of weather.
I love it.
Really nice when you're sitting underneath a new building, ain't it?
The wind comes through here. The only thing is, Danny don't like the wind because he's trying to put on pieces of trim. And the one thing you don't want with trim is for it to get bent, and the wind will catch it in a heartbeat, and it'll just be gone.
You will bend it up, it'll blow it out of your hand. You try to lay it down to do something, blow it off the roof. Right when you think you got it where you want it, the wind will catch it and pick it up. Totally frustrating, but we're getting there.
We have rain tomorrow.
Possibly some severe weather.
Yeah, so we need it as finished as possible. And so we're taking a late break. This is not a morning break. This is we fixing to quit break.
Well, I'm not fixing to quit. I've still got another piece or two to go.
But you're almost there.
I'm almost there.
Wanda's
Yeah.
got all these posts painted.
Oh, that looks amazing.
It just changes the look. It's amazing.
Now I may get you to help me go ahead and put that one board across on it, but other than that,
I like that board, and then I may not get it painted this evening, but if I do, that would set it
that's
up.
gonna make it pop. Yep.
So guys, I've got a spice muffin. This is a Cherokee tan spice muffin. You can check out the video on Crazy Days on how to make them, and some tocino. And you got water.
And chocolate chip something.
Cookie.
Yeah, cookie, and then I don't know what you call the donut things.
Yeah, it's pineapple.
Pineapple donut things. It's pretty good.
So I'm guessing we're gonna sit here and enjoy this
Mm-hmm.
because we can. And it's almost in the dry. We keep saying that, but every little bit Danny gets done, and we're that much closer. Maybe tomorrow's bad weather.
Well, depending on what time tomorrow it gets in here, we might.
Might get the ridge. We're gonna be pushing it.
We'll have everything probably, but well, it depends on the wind.
Yeah.
Now this front coming in here, they say the wind's gonna get up pretty high. I gotta be up on the, I gotta move the scaffold board to the very top. And I gotta be on the very top of the scaffolding. I don't know if I wanna be up there with the wind blowing 20 or 30 miles an hour, 25 feet up in the air.
I think we're gonna chill and sit that one out. You got plenty inside.
I can put the electrical panel in, because the water won't get over there. I can put all that in.
You work on wiring.
I could work on putting in electrical boxes, doing things like that. So yeah, there's things we can do while it's doing what it's going to do, I suppose.
Yeah.
So we're going to chill out the rest of the evening, try to figure out what we got to do. We got paint for everything today. We went and bought the paint for all the trim, paint for the walls, paint for the floor, everywhere except where you park it out here. This takes a special kind of paint. But other than that, guys, we're trying to get as much stuff bought up as we can in case they do a lockdown on us. At least we can
still work.
We can still work. We're thinking about going ahead and ordering insulation and
the wood for the walls.
the wood for, at least the wood for this outside wall part in here, so we
from
can
my
get
room, because if we had the room done,
That's true.
we can keep working.
We can keep working.
So we've got some wood we may order to keep going.
Yeah, we may do that. We have a lot of things coming on the way, so.
So stay with us. This is, I don't know, day 16, 17, 18.
Oh,
I'm
no, we're
sure.
not up to that. We was only up to day 12 on the video, I think.
No, I just finished day 15.
You did, because we got them already filmed. Yeah, we've already got them filmed, yeah. 15, this will be day
I think we're up to day 16.
16 today.
Maybe 17. We maybe one of the
Yeah,
two.
16 or 17, right.
But we're making tremendous.
I need 16 or 17 days to go from a slab to this.
And we can use it now. It's usable.
It's usable.
Now. So
I don't think that's too bad for 2 older people.
I don't either, guys. See y'all later.
Thank you guys from Deep South Homestead.